All right, hi everybody. My name's Dr. Justine from the Justine Blaney Wellness Center, and I just turned 50, so I've got 50 stretches for 50-year-olds today in order to help us be loose and less stiff in the morning. So you don't have to do all of these, but watch along because there's going to be lots that you can do. You can do them at work, you can do them in the shower, you can do them in the kitchen. You know how we want to dance in the kitchen? You can stretch in the kitchen. We want to make this fun. You're going to hold the stretch to comfort. So some people might hold the stretch 5 seconds, some people 10 seconds, 50 seconds. It's to your comfort. You're going to see today I'm going to be holding the stretches a little shorter just to make sure the video is shorter. So I'm going to probably stay into that 5-second range. We do want to do both sides, right and left. And I do have 50 plus stretches for you in order to help you best. Now, if you do have questions, our kinesiologists, our team at the front at the Justine Blaney Wellness Center are happy to create individual stretching routines for you. Maybe you want a 5-minute stretching routine that you know you can commit to daily. Just ask us. We'd be happy to help you. Maybe you need one specific to your neck or to your elbow or to your knee. Our team can help you with that as well. So I'm going to also show you that I'm just finishing the shift for today at the end of work. You don't need special clothes. You can wear whatever clothes you want. You can wear your PJs. This is something to make sure we get it done, because I know we have tons of excuses not to stretch, right? Or to pick up our phone and search Facebook or social media. This is the time for you. So put on some music that you like. Put on the TV show. I'm the romance. I love romance, so I'll probably watch the Women's Network if while I was stretching. My husband wouldn't. He wants the, more of the, bang bang and action shots. But pick whatever is going to work for you. What music, what environment. The important thing is get her done, all right? So we're doing 50 for 50. We're going to start with our neck. I've got them into categories just in case you're replaying the video. Maybe you just want to start with your neck, then we'll do shoulders, then we'll do elbows and hands, and then we'll move our way down the body. So that way you could pick different sections if you want to replay it and zoom in on a different area. Check out our other videos because we do have videos that are like 15 minutes just for your lower back or 5 to 8 minutes just for your knees or your hips. We have a ton of that on the website, but today's focus is 50 for 50. So we're going to start with your neck, and we're going to start with that lateral flexion, and we'll go to the other side, stretching the side of our neck to make it comfortable. Your goal is to get as close to your shoulder as possible. To increase that stretch, you can put your hand over your head to pull towards your side. You can put this hand behind your shoulder to get a deeper stretch. And then to get the levator scap, you can pull your chin down and then turn it towards your armpit. And you will change the stretch. We'll go the other side, so hand over your head, hand behind your back, or pulling on something. You could do this stretch seated as well. To the side, chin down, and then chin towards your armpit. We can add, that's with lateral flexion, forward flexion. And then you can add just a little extra pressure and then extension. Now these are called static stretches where you're doing stretch and hold, but you can also do what's called a dynamic stretch, which is moving slowly through that range of motion, which I will do with flexion and you can do with rotation. So I love to do these stretches in the shower to keep myself loose and start my day with a smile. Don't need to be rushing towards a coffee. We want to get our stretches done so we have the energy for that day. Now, as we're getting older, we can start to think that we're getting some wrinkles, some wisdom lines. So sometimes we're worried about a double chin. So this is called the platysma stretch, the stretch of the underneath your chin. So you do look like an idiot for this one, I gotta tell you. So you stick your chin out and you look up and you'll see the stretch in the bottom part of your chin. key is to stick your chin out. If you're just here, you won't get as much stretch. Stick your chin out and you'll get more stretch of the bottom part of your chin. All right? We're going to add shoulder rolls to keep your body loose and moving. And forwards and back. And then we're going to add very important what's called a jaw jut. Many people have their head forward from phones and laptops. So we wanted that jaw jut, keeping your chin level to the ground, pushing your head back. This is good when you're driving. Push it back, relax. Push it back, relax, to get that motion into your jaw jut. And this is a good one to do dynamically or statically. Just stretch and hold. Go. So you could do that, for example, at a stop sign, stoplight, while you're waiting. Just hold your chin back or just squeeze your shoulders back and head back to work on that better posture for your upper body. All right, we're going to move down to our chest and arms. So we want to stretch our chest. So like a big sun, and all the different rays opening up our chest. And then if we want to increase that bicep stretch, turn your thumbs and turn them back and bring them back towards behind you. So it's the arm is behind you to get that bicep stretch. And we want to stretch this part of our arm, called the tricep. You can bring your elbow up and then pull your elbow down to do your tricep. And then same thing other side, grab your elbow with your opposite hand to stretch your triceps. Feels good. All right. To do the back part of your shoulder, push your arm across your body and push your elbow into your body. That helps stretch the back of your shoulder. Same thing with the opposite side, push your elbow into your body to get the back of your shoulder. To get underneath your arms, you might use your kitchen counter, put your hands down and pull back, and you can get underneath of your arms. To get between your shoulders, called your rhomboids, you can do self hugs dynamically to get between your shoulders, get that movement, and then you can do that real bear hug where you grab your shoulders, and to increase that stretch, tuck your chin down. And then slight roll forward, and you'll get that stretch between your shoulders. Now as we get down towards our hands, the tennis elbow is at the top of your wrist. So we want to hold your hand down, and that will stretch the top of your hands. And then pulling your fingers back to stretch the bottom part, which is good for things like golfer's elbow, or if you're doing a lot of typing. And as we're getting with our fingers, the star-like, I recommend doing that when you're doing dishes. So in the hot water, or squeezing a sponge in the hot water. And then you can do gentle tractioning of each finger. You don't have to yank it. We're not talking about cracking all your fingers. You're doing gentle mobilizations to help your fingers function well. So we started with our neck, we got our shoulders, we got the biceps, we got the triceps, forearm, both sides, and wrists and fingers in order to be the best. So now we're going to work towards that upper back. One of the ones is the cat-cow. So from sideways, we're rounding head up and down. This can be done on all fours or on your knees to help with that upper back. For upper back, I love doing boxing, so I do recommend doing that forward box. Yes, make it fun, right? So you're doing the forward box, you can do cross jab, right? You can do an upper jab. All of that is loosening your upper body, and it's in a dynamic way, good for stress, to work for your upper body. You could do shoulders roll forward and shoulders roll back. Shoulders roll forward, shoulders roll back for your upper body to help get the best results. If you have a wall to stretch through your chest, you can put your hand on the wall and then pull back. That gets you a good chest back stretch. And I'm creating my hips coming forward. so I can get a deeper stretch in through your upper body and through your sides. You can use a door frame for that as well. Now, to work with your upper body, one of the stretches that you can do is more dynamically as well. You can go on all fours to do your cat-cow, and also work towards alternating foot and upper body holds to use your upper body. Now we're going to go into the lower body, and one of the ones that you rest. Lower body, we're going in through your cat-cow that can help, but then you get into your child's pose, and the important thing is that you can swing your hips from side to side for child's pose to get more of a stretch of your upper body. You can also use any type of counter. So put your hands on a kitchen counter, turn your feet and pull back. And same thing, turn your feet the other way and pull back to help through your lower back. I want to show you the desk pulls. So if you're at a desk, you can pull your shoulders back and then roll your shoulders forward and pull your shoulders back, which can be done seated as well. Now in bed, you can do what we call the lumbar roll stretch. So opposite arm and opposite leg go in the opposite directions. Feels really good. And you can do both sides. So opposite arm, opposite leg to get a deeper stretch. This can also be done seated, so you can pull your knee the opposite way so that you can still do this at work. No excuses. Turn your head the opposite direction to help with your lower back. Now, as we get into the upper hips, there's different poses that we talk about as warrior poses that help stretch your hip flexors. So one of them, we're lunging forward, and you can have your arms straight up, and you're getting that stretch of your hip flexor, and then your arms go opposite directions, and then bring your arms back straight up, and then look behind you. So you're getting that hip flexor stretch and stretch through your midsection. So let's go with the other side. Straight up, opposite directions, straight up, and then looking behind you. And again, I'm getting that hip flexor stretch. Hip flexor stretch can also, like in hockey, we would do it on the ground or on the ice. So you can get your hip flexor stretch. You can see you can do this all in my work clothes, so there's no excuses. You can hold on to something if you need that balance. You could put a pillow under your knee if you need it. As we're getting in through our hips, we can also do one where it is easy when you're laying on your bed and just literally letting the one leg hang off the side, and that will help stretch your hip flexor. Or if you're more advanced, you can take your leg and bring it back. That will get you the quad stretch, and the more you bring it back, the more hip flexor stretch that you will have. When we're looking towards the front of our legs, that's called your quad stretch. You can grab one knee to bring it back and hold. But if that is too difficult, I'm going to switch legs. You can put your leg up onto a chair, hold something if you need to, and bend down. You will get the stretch of your hip flexor in the front of your leg, and you don't have as much bend of the knee, which will make it a lot easier for you. For the back of your legs, it's good to do a stretch and hold. You could bring your foot up to get more calf stretch. Stretch and hold. That can also be done seated or you can sit and reach to stretch your hamstrings to make it a lot harder, right? When you're seated, you're gonna get a deeper stretch, or if both feet sit and reach, feels really good to get that stretch in the back of your leg. Now for your adductors, that's the inside of your leg. Some people will do their stretch like a seated stretch to pull and maybe do just a gentle bounce and then a stretch and hold for the inner part of the thigh. I personally find that harder on my back, so I would rather do a side lunge to feel the stretch inside the leg. So alternating sides, side lunge inside the legs. Now we do need to do a buttock stretch as we're coming forward. So buttock stretch, many prefer seated like this. We call that like a seated figure 4 stretch, which you can do both sides. You can make it harder by leaning forward. This can also be done laying on your back. So bringing your knee to your same shoulder and then your knee to the opposite shoulder, so towards this shoulder, and then what we call the figure 4 stretch, which feels awesome. So same shoulder, opposite shoulder, and then figure 4 stretch. This is a cool one that can, in hockey, you will see we will often do this stretch on all fours, cross your legs, and it's also called like a pigeon stretch, and you can get your stretch on the ground through your buttocks. We're almost there at the 50 stretches for turning 50. Now we want to get into our calves. So one of the ones is against the wall and you lean up and you can stretch your calves, putting your foot up against the wall, or you can lean in, and I'm stretching my back foot for the big gastroc part of your calf. But to stretch the small muscle called the soleus below your calf muscle, you want to have 2 feet staggered and bend both knees, keeping both heels down. This is a soleus stretch for the back part of your calf. Now the front part of your leg is the tib anterior, and it often gets, that's where you get shin splints. And the best way to stretch that is to put your toe backwards and lean in. Toe backwards and lean in. For your feet, you can do your circles. And your circles, you can hold the wall if you need to. For your knees, you can warm up your knees through circles. That helps warm up through your ankles as well. We can go toes up, on your toes, toes up, on your toes, toes up, to work the muscles of your feet. I do recommend doing alphabet exercises for your ankles, so you can do that seated or standing, but you're drawing the alphabet with your capital letters with your big toe, so A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z, A. It's harder with your other foot, by the way. I find it really, like I'm super awkward trying to draw the alphabet with my left foot because I'm right-handed. All right, almost there. With respect to the alphabet exercises, we also have skiing, just going side to side, getting the arches, your knees warmed up, your feet warmed up, especially if you're getting into sports, easy one to do. And then circles, so you're doing the weight on all sides of your foot. All right, guys, we did 50 stretches there, all different kinds. So 50 for turning 50. Glad you joined me. I hope you do some and have an awesome night.